Episode 11 of F4 Thailand. Boys Over Flowers, YouTube, GMMTV, View, surfaces at the site of Gorya's captivity, where Tale and friends await Time, the fish who's taken the bait. Tale acknowledges that he's keen to teach Time a lesson. As Time heads to Gorya alone, F2 rescue Ren and pass on intel by phone. At the warehouse, Tale reveals his reason for plotting against F4 in relationship with Fufa. He confirms that since the incident, the once shining Fufa no longer has such potential. He'd been crushed by F4. Turns out, for revenge Tale hacked his way into their school. After Fufa had been beaten, his family went into debt to cover his treatment. While Tale slowly gathered other students who'd also suffered at the hands of F4. He berates Gorya for being friends with them, after what they'd done to her too. She should have been the one to fight against them. She tells him that what he's doing isn't right and offers to help him change things. But Tale is too angry to hear. When Time arrives, and admits to this past, Tale gives him a red card and the Jackals launch. Gorya tries to stop Tale by talking about Fufa. But when one of the other guys tries to shut her up, Tale defends her. Afterwards, he immediately attacks a falling Time to prove a point. Tale continues to punch, while Time says he won't fight back, as that would mean losing. As Tale attacks with a chair, Gorya breaks free from her bindings and covers Time, getting knocked out. Days later, Gorya wakes in the hospital and runs to see Time in his hospital room. She finds a covered corpse. The guys let her believe he's gone as she curses at the sheet. She still has a lot of bad names to call him. The guys hold it together as she also professes her love. But Time is too happy to keep playing dead. She smacks them all with a pillow. As they laugh and play, Lita hears the joy from outside and throws her get well flowers in the bin. Exiting the hospital, Kevin offers Caning a ride home. A series of texts demonstrate that things aren't yet over between Time and Tale. He sends F3 into action. At another hospital, Ren finds Fufa, who's not able to walk. Meanwhile, Time has been visiting all the people they'd hurt to apologize and take his licks. Ren confides to Tale that Time has changed since meeting Gorya. He then asks Tale to let things end, but Tale isn't convinced. He'd recorded Time confessing to the bullying and insists on sharing it with the world. Tale says he needs to expose everything from the start to stop it at the root cause, preventing future incidents. Ren suddenly envisions Time's mother talking of red cards. Tale plans to share the file, and then admit his own wrongdoings, fully fair. He says F4 must admit everything before it's too late. That evening at her front gate, Gorya is kidnapped by suited men. However, she lands at Time's place. Ah, those suited men. He tells her he met with Tale, and posted the confession video himself. Gorya checks to see if it broke the internet, but there's no video to be found. Instead, her voicemail has a message from Tale. He set the share to only me, and decided to discontinue his revenge spree. Much like Fufa's dad had done in the past. In a flashback to different times, it's Tale who delivers the classic line, if apologies were enough, the police would be out of a job. Fufa sagely comments that Tale speaks like a character from a manga, claiming he'd forgive someone willing to change. Time promises Gorya that he'll continue to do better in future. He takes her to see the meteor shower with his telescope. She notes its beauty, such a shame it doesn't last. A perfect segue for Time to present the meteor necklace. And we end with Time professing everlasting love and once again asking Gorya to be his. We'll have to wait until next week for Gorya's answer. Tale put on a good show this week, with high-speed shifts from angry to crazy to normal to angry again. Even though he went a bit overboard in the vengeance stakes, at least his action was in his friend's name. His idea of everyone revealing everything publicly is an interesting one. Of course, many more rats would go down with that ship, including himself. Additionally, it could impact families and their empires as well. With social media, it's an entirely plausible possibility. If you've watched Thai series like The Judgment, Netflix, Entirely Worthy, you already have an idea of how this can spiral, pulling others in like a whirlpool. Is posting everything out in the open for faceless people to assess and comment on a reasonable punishment? How does one give the whole story? Let's have a quick look at Time's solution, more personal and potentially more meaningful, yet not without some serious embarrassment. Not the kind that knocks over a company, but the thing implants one-to-one. Time's already completely softened from his former persona. How many people do you think would apologize to every person he's ever wronged? How many people would even think of it? Apart from the dramatic events, Ep 11 was filled with energy and urgency. The changes in lighting from moody and sinister to bright and revealing, then finally to soft romance, helped to make mood shifts clear and immediately comprehensible. A solid episode all around.